Well, here we are. Another year starting off League of Ordinary Gentlemen Fantasy Podcast.
Yeah. And here we are again for another year thinking that our discussions are good enough to validate
They are good enough.
posting them to the world to hear.
Now, I hate to start on a low note, okay? But we have some very important things to talk about. The last year has been difficult for everyone. I mean, would you agree with me?
Yeah, it sucked dick.
And it's been rough for us. It's been rough for our relationship. Just like everybody else, we've had our struggles, and we're trying. We're going to use this podcast here as a way for us to mend our branches. This is going to be a call it couples therapy for us.
Is this like having a kid to fix a broken relationship?
No. We're staying together for the kids. That's the theme of this podcast. You see, what you guys don't know,
the kids being
is,
the other 10 members.
is our relationship has been on the rocks over the past year or two. It's been difficult. We haven't been able to see each other much. And let's be honest, there were moments that we were seeing other people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Robert was cheating on me with another electrician.
Oh my God.
Blatantly right to my
That's
face.
been happening for years.
He was telling me how this guy's a master electrician. You don't understand. He's a master. I'm like,
I mean, he's really good.
Well,
with
thanks,
his
man.
fingers.
Anyway, he was cheating on me. I was cheating on him.
With other drummers.
We between the two of us, we have 7 kids out of wedlock from each other.
Seriously.
But anyways, so what this season, things are going to get serious at times. It's going to be awkward. It's going to be difficult. We're gonna have our moments. There's going to be tension, people. You know, we're going to try to do 1 hour a week. We're going to get back to what we originally set out to do, which we never fulfill anything we ever set out to do. I don't think we've ever done a full season.
Which is what I tell you every year. The kind of quality you can expect from your league managers is...
Yeah, we're kind of
we
there.
come out swinging, and, where it ends up is just where it ends up. And we're
whatever
doing our
happens,
best.
happens.
I used to write trophies for this league, and it just,
Yeah,
7 weeks in, it just... I couldn't think of shit to write anymore. I'm sorry.
But anyway... basically, the point I'm trying to make is that we're going to use this as a couples therapy, so the two of us can get together and talk once a week.
Yes. And what you guys need to understand is, regardless of the quality of this podcast, as he said, it's for us. It has
it's
nothing to
not
do
for
with
you guys.
All right?
It's just for us, so we can talk, or have a reason to talk once a week about something as trivial as fake football.
Yes.
But with that said. Like I said, things are going to get serious. We promise we're going to do, roughly an hour every week. Of that, we'll probably talk 7 minutes of fantasy football, legit fantasy football. The rest of it's going to be nonsense. And starting off, we have breaking news. The draft is in the book, and Ryan now owns all of the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, that was absolutely the most ridiculous thing. I've watched a lot of crazy shit in fantasy football. I've been in leagues with people that have no idea what they're doing, and that is the absolute dumbest fantasy football thing I've ever seen. Don't even get me wrong. They're good players. Sure, all the Vikings players he drafted are good players.
I mean, if he was going to pick one team, the Vikings kind of is the team to have, because I was just listening to a different podcast recently. And they were saying that the Minnesota Vikings is the first team to have a 1,500-yard rusher, a 1,500-yard receiver, a quarterback that threw for 4,000 yards or whatever. Is the first team to ever have all of that all on one team.
Great. You know how they didn't get there? All at the same time, every game for 17 weeks.
Right.
So you can justify it any way you want. It was stupid. You have all of one team on your starting roster.
Right,
Everyone else, I mean, 11 out of the 12 of us agree. Hell, 12 of the 12 of us might agree. You said you didn't even ask Ryan how he felt about this.
No, but we'll ask him tonight, hopefully.
I imagine he can't be thrilled as somebody who seems to care about winning championships, and at least, enough to win 3 more than me. But
right.
anyways.
As part of this podcast, we're going to attempt now. We're doing this completely off the cuff. We're going to try to cold call everyone. It might get tedious. We might not have any answers. I believe it's like 9:25 p.m. right now. I don't know. Do we want to talk more of this stuff, or should we just get into cold calling and talking about people's teams?
Considering the time, I would say let's do the calls and then let's circle back.
And we can wrap it back up after? Sure, we could do that.
I definitely want to talk about shit that's not fantasy football oriented, but I feel like we can tangent that off at the end.
I suppose. I got you.
There's going to be some basketball.
We're going to... I know Kral is working nights. He's probably... it's going to be close. We might be able to catch him before...
Do we want to get Ed before his bedtime?
Trust me. Ed's bedtime was 4 hours ago. All right, let's try Mr. Kral.
In case you're all wondering where we're doing this from, it's my garage in Appleton.
Yes.
Pictures to come.
Hello.
Kral,
Hey, what's up, dog?
you are on the podcast right now.
All right. Awesome. That's the only reason I answered.
Okay, quickly, we're doing 5 minutes
You said
with...
you didn't tell anybody ahead of time.
I didn't tell anyone ahead of time. Did I tell you ahead of time?
No, the only reason I would get a phone call right now is like, hey, I think they might be doing the podcast.
Nice.
Perfect. Anyways, you can hear us good, right?
Yeah, good enough, yeah.
Okay, good. Because this is the first time Robert and I are doing this in the same room together with someone on the phone. So I just wanted to make sure everything's working. You're the first person I called because I assumed you have to be to work in 20 minutes.
Yeah, I'm on my way right now. I'm about 10 minutes out.
Okay, cool. So we're going to do 5 minutes with everybody post-draft. Let's talk about your team specifically. Kral, tell me about your team. How did the draft go for you? Did you fuck up? Do you feel like you left money on the table? Give me whatever you think.
Well, I'll be honest. I did not expect to get Travis Kelce for $50. I kind of just bid him up just to make somebody else take him for over $50.
Really?
Not going to lie, that was a hell of an expense.
Now, who were you bidding against? Because I don't remember that.
I don't remember either. I think it was in the 30s, and I'm like, fuck this. Let's just go to 50.
And everybody stopped dead in their tracks.
On my sheet, he was listed for like 53. I'm like, somebody will bid 51, so I'll just do 50.
Kyle slams his head on the table.
What?
50. Record scratch.
I mean, that probably is what his value is. I don't know what he was valued at in other... I want to say I had him in my sheet at 50-something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I pretty much blew my wad on Kelce, Gibson, and Eckler. Those are my 3 big acquisitions.
Mm-hmm. And
which left me in shambles at quarterback, but who needs a quarterback?
There's a lot of guys out there. And by the way, there are guys that are going to be starting week 1 that I don't even think were drafted that might be good.
I'm told there's 32 quarterbacks that are going to start week 1.
Well,
yeah,
there'd have to be. You got Eckler for $40. That's not bad.
No, that was a good pickup. I like that price.
Yeah, I saw him where he's been getting drafted, and I'm like, $40 is a good price.
I mean, he was a target of mine. My philosophy is don't waste money on running backs. But he was one of my targets. He ended up going a little higher than I wanted to go, but at 40, I think is a good price for him.
Yeah, going into the draft, I wanted 2 top 15 running backs, and I think Gibson and Eckler will do that for me.
You know what? I think that's the beauty of the auction draft, because if you look at Robert and I have all sorts of stats here. You can look at it and go, well, geez. If you go just by money value, you had the 10 and 11 pick with Kelce and Gibson. So basically, you were on the back end of the turnaround if we were doing a snake draft, and you got whoever you wanted. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah. Plus, I got Kelce, so that's like 3 picks in the top 15.
Right. So I mean, yeah, quite honestly, I don't know. I think that the way we do the draft now is way better. That's all I'm gonna say.
Antonio Gibson too. You could potentially have 2 of the top 10 running backs at the end of the year between Gibson and Eckler, if it all shook out correctly.
Yeah, that would be my best case scenario.
Because Eckler's supposed to get volume like
Yeah.
McCaffrey this year. It's supposed to be nuts how much they're going to use him.
I think Eckler is a good pick for where you got him. That's for sure. Quarterbacks. Did you only end up with Lawrence?
No, I got Fitzmagic.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. I think you're all right because you can play Fitzpatrick for the first like 5 or 6 weeks. He'll put up points and then he'll start throwing interceptions, and then that'll be time to start Lawrence.
Yeah, that's literally what I was thinking when I took him.
He's like a better version of Jameis Winston.
Yeah, the guy comes out like fire and then drops off after week 6.
But I mean,
But then Lawrence will be ready to go.
honestly,
That's pretty good, actually.
From my point of view with the quarterbacks, there's like 3, maybe 4 guys that I'd blow my wad on, and everybody after that, it's like whoever I can get for like $10. Who gives a shit? You know what I mean? Or just spend $15 and get 2 guys. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure.
But let's stop wasting time on the irrelevant part of Kyle's roster, and let's talk about the important things to him, all right? I'm going to give you, let's call it, 2 to 3 uninterrupted minutes on the Buccaneers defense and Justin Tucker. Go.
Well, I mean, I could go for 2 or 3 minutes. I mean, I took Tucker because he's the most accurate kicker in our new kicking rules from last year.
And you got him at like a 40% discount, right?
Yeah, 60% discount.
60.
But no, yeah, every field goal is worth a touchdown now because if you make it, it's +3, and if you miss it, it's -3.
Good point.
You know, that's a fair point. I'll give you that.
And the Buccaneers defense, they showed what they could do against Kansas City. Everybody from that defense is coming back this year.
That defense is going to be fantastic, and I can't believe they got everybody back. That's for sure.
Talk about swinging your dick around. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the draft just go out and just start drafting positions at like their strongest parts just because they're like, fuck it, we got them
but
all
when
back.
you're good, why not do that, right?
Mhm. Just shoring it up. It's clever.
Well, anyways, Carl, thank you for your time. We got to move on to the next guy. Look for the podcast in a few days.
All right, good. Hopefully somebody else answers too.
All right, later, Carl.
All right, peace.
All right, well, that was Kyle Kroll.
What a quality interview.
Fantastic, right?
Got some good content.
All right, now, Ryan, being a bachelor, he probably has like a 9:15 curfew.
He's with a Tinder date right now.
Let's see if we can get a hold of Ryan here.
He swiped all the way left. Can you imagine Ryan on a Tinder date, though?
Wow, you're tall.
Yeah, Kyle.
Ryan, you are on the podcast right now.
Oh, nice. Awesome.
Now, I got to get I wanted to wait until this moment to get your feelings on how your draft turned out.
Oh, my draft was perfect, man. I thought I could use a couple more Vikings players on there, but I'll take what I can get. I'm thinking probably 12-4 regular season with a division championship and probably my 4th title on the year.
Are you talking about the Vikings or your fantasy team?
But that's kind of how I'm tagging it this year.
Well, I mean, the Vikings have never won a championship, so
That'd be tough.
I don't know if they're going to do it for you this year.
Yeah, well, never say never.
Now, I got to know, did you give Ted any actual instructions? I mean, did you send him there and just be like, hey, light $100 on fire for me?
Yeah, more or less. I did not give Ted any instructions, but I didn't give him any instructions last year, and almost go that to a championship. So I gotta, trust the process, and the season isn't won or lost on the draft night. So we're just gonna, go out there week one of what we have and continue to look at every position throughout the season and make roster moves accordingly.
This is a really solid interview. Hey,
No, okay. So I just want you to know that this is how the draft went. Zach picked Derrick Henry. Robert got Tyreek Hill. Delvin Cook came up. And so Ted took Cook for you. Then he took Jordan Love for $2. By the way, he nominated him for $2. Then the next pick, he nominated Jameis Winston, got him for another $2. Then he nominated Kyler Murray, and Zach got him. Came back, got Justin Jefferson, then Kirk Cousins. So he had 3 quarterbacks off the board in the first 8 picks. Then Adam Thielen, then the Vikings defense. Then skip 3 picks, Saquon Barkley, Irv Smith, and then he was down to what was he down to, $30? So then his idea was, I'll sit tight here and then try to run the board again. He ran the board, he sat there for 2 hours, ran the board all the way to his last pick. No, he didn't. He had 4 picks left.
Right.
I can't remember. 3 or 4 picks, and he lost control of the board. Then Luke Depre had to be out at a certain time, and Luke was running the board, and Ted had $2 left. And Ted purposely bid $2 to fuck Depre out of just some random fucking guy. I think that was the.
pretty sure he didn't even care who it was. He just didn't want to see Luke get to leave for work.
Depre, no, it was like a kicker.
It might have been the coolest thing I've ever seen at an auction.
Yeah, it was a kicker, and Depre was like, I don't know who's a kicker. No one's gonna take. Here, I'll just take this guy on the bottom of the list, and then Ted's like $2. And Depre was like, fuck you, dude. I'm just trying to get out of here. And Ted's like, you guys kept me here. Fuck you.
In case you were wondering how you ended up with that kicker.
Yeah. So.
Oh, got it. Okay. I know.
It was
I
pretty.
admire the early running quarterbacks as well.
But here's the thing, Ryan. If you want, if you want your money back and to get, things back in order as far as the Vikings go, Luke does have Alexander Madison, backup running back for the Vikings, who
in Luke style.
Yeah, Luke snagged him from you. So if you want to arrange a trade to give him that kicker back and get Madison, so you can really round out the whole Vikings team, that would be a good trade.
Yeah, I'm looking at any trade offers involving Vikings players are definitely in play for me.
I'm gonna scour the waivers as we speak before this thing publishes.
Unfortunately, you had to give up Irv Smith right away because he had that knee injury.
Yeah, that's gonna happen. No injuries again, part of the game.
That's why he took the whole team.
The third string tight end is and keep even good.
So Zach drafted 2 quarterbacks. I think he has Russell Wilson and
somebody else that's pretty good.
Yeah, god dang it. He's got Wilson and
Kyler Murray.
No, he's got Kyler Murray and the guy from the God damn it, I'm looking on the wrong page.
Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson. And he was solely he drafted Lamar Jackson solely because he thought he was getting them too cheap, and he's like, well, fucking Ryan's going to need a quarterback. So be on the lookout for a Lamar Jackson trade.
Okay. All right.
But anyway, I know you weren't at the draft, but any last remarks about your team before we move on to the next one?
I think there's some good. I think we have some workhorse running backs up there. Quarterback position will probably be a rotational, depending upon matchups. I like the twin Viking receivers there. I think there's a lot of value there, and I plan on being competitive and plan on being there at the end of the season. One last comment. I had to laugh. I was listening to a different podcast, and I think it was Bill Simmons. Bill Simmons always does this thing where he's like, if I had to pick one team to pile on, who would I pick? And then Matthew Berry, I think, was on with him, and he was like, well, I mean, the first team I would think about is the Vikings. And I almost stopped dead in my tracks. I'm like, the Vikings? Are you fucking kidding me?
And then he said that last year there was a 1,500-yard rusher, 1,500-yard receiver, and a 4,000-yard quarterback. It's the first time in NFL history, all on the same team. And I was like, well, fucking Ryan's got the whole team, so.
Yep.
Anything you'd like to tell the other members of the league while we got you on the phone since you missed the draft? Any smack talk or words of advice from a three-time champion?
Yeah, gentlemen, for the call tonight, and I think I'll just leave it at this and just let everyone know you guys are all playing for second, and we'll see you championship week.
Given your history, I'm inclined to believe it.
Perfect. All right, Ryan. Thanks. We'll catch you later.
All right, have a good one, guys.
Yep. Bye.
God, these fucking rock solid interviews. I almost feel like I'm not assistant podcasting well enough. Doesn't help that I'm, half a bottle of whiskey in, but still.
All right.
Such
Let's get our first non-answer of the night.
Going right to Ed?
No. We know he's not going to answer.
Your call has been forwarded to
Oh,
an
he hung
automatic
up
voice
on us.
message system.
Bitch clicked you.
99 is not
Doesn't even
available.
set up his
At
voicemail.
the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more
I don't even know
options.
who he is.
Jason, you could have been on the podcast right now, but you muted the phone. Pretty disappointed in you.
Your team sucks also. I
Well,
don't know what you were thinking. Melvin Gordon, CeeDee Lamb, what do you... Taylor, Burrow, what's happening here? Anyways,
We'll have to find out later, I guess.
we were going to give you a chance to defend yourself. By the way, Godwin's hurt. See ya.
All right, next on the list. You want to go straight to Ed, huh?
He did get Kittle, which is the guy you should have got instead of Waller. But
Yeah.
we'll get to that when I call you,
Yeah, okay.
which means you have to call me on my phone and I'll hand it
Right.
to you.
Yeah,
So I can-
exactly.
otherwise, it won't record.
Exactly.
All right.
Perfect. Wow. Did it get louder?
No. Yes.
Okay.
I don't know.
Hello?
Holy shit, it's Ed. Hey, Ed, you're on the podcast right now.
Oh, no.
I'm going to give you 5 minutes to talk about your team in great detail. Tell me all the trials and tribulations, all the ways you messed up, all the guys you stole from me. Tell me everything. How'd your draft go?
I don't know.
I expected him to hang up after he said that.
Fuck these guys. I don't want to talk to them.
All right, let's do a quick recap. Patrick Mahomes, Julio Jones, Stephon Diggs, Kyle Pitts, Robert Woods. You got Tua as a backup. Lindsey. Ooh, James White. Fun. Cole Kmet. Any of those standing out to you as guys you really wanted going into this?
I put a lot of thought into it every time.
Kyle Pitts might be the steal of the draft there for $10 because I think he's going to be good right out the gates, and the fact that you were able to get him for $10 is pretty fucking awesome.
Oh, yeah.
You were sleeping, weren't you?
Yeah, this is a
That
just
or,
a
that or
shard.
he's high. James
Totally
Robinson
was.
and Javonte Williams, also a couple of sneaky pickups. Your team actually looks really good, which pisses me off because it was noticeable that you were the only person in the room who is caring less than me. But I think it was because I was trying not to care, and for you it just came really naturally.
Well, and of course he poached James Robinson off of me. I wanted him, and of course Ed $1'd me just like he does every
I don't
year.
know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you'd
Could've
never
had
do
him
that,
go
huh?
higher.
Maybe he's just trying to bid you up and you're a pussy about it and you're afraid to go after the guys you want.
Apparently.
I mean,
I like
you
your
just gotta
style, Ed.
understand
Kyle's
that
gotta
when you
earn
get
it if
all
he wants a
excited, I
pie.
have to go for it.
What's that?
I said, when I see you get all excited, I have to go for it.
Yeah, see.
Absolutely.
Fucking hate it when people are trolling me during a draft. It just drives me nuts. So yeah, you're welcome.
Ugh.
All right, Ed. Any last comments?
No, I got no comments.
He ain't got no comments. All right, well, go break some rocks at the quarry for us tomorrow.
Oh, I'll just try to. I don't know if I can.
All right, Ed. We'll see you later.
Later.
Not bad for waking up and giving an interview. He gave it his.
I would call that low energy.
But he answered.
He did answer. I was surprised he answered. I'm not gonna lie.
I like the jinx level holy shit we threw down on that too. That was perfect. That could be a drop.
All right. Oh. The holy shit.
Yeah, at the same time.
We'll have to remember to find that.
Somebody let us remember that. I'm going to be hammered by the time this is over.
You are drinking straight whiskey. I am not.
Yeah, it's really good though.
This might be our second no answer.
High West Double Rye. Oh, hey, Nicole's home. We're out here,
Fantastic.
honey.
This is
Your call
definitely
has
a no
been
answer.
forwarded to an automatic voice message system.
Nobody sets.
In person.
Oh, okay. He did set up his
Is not
voicemail.
available. At the
Does
tone,
nobody do
please
custom
record your
voicemails
message.
anymore? Is that not a thing?
When you have finished
Mine is.
recording, you
Mine
may
is
hang
too.
up or press 1 for more options.
Hey, Justin, you could have been on the podcast right now. We wanted to talk about your team and how your draft went. But I guess we'll have to catch you some other time.
Love you, buddy.
Bring her in here. Let's talk about. By the way, we have a new sponsor for this season, and we're about to bring in the principal owner of this new sponsor of ours. All right, with me right now, I have the proprietor of our new presenting sponsor. It is the Sugar Rushlow Boutique. Am I correct?
Yeah, but I'm the owner.
Is that different than a proprietor?
Yeah.
Well, Jesus. Okay, the new owner of the
Well,
Sugar
I'm not
Rush.
a new owner. I've always been the owner.
Well,
It's officially a store.
It's a
okay,
new-
you're,
it's a-
I'm going to need you to speak into the mic so that.
It's a new. We're opening a new brick and mortar store. So after being online for years, we're finally getting our own storefront.
Perfect. Okay, where is this storefront? I believe it's in Appleton. Am I correct?
It's in Appleton, yes.
You got to give me the address. How am I supposed to promote for you? You're not helping me here right now.
It's 2125 South Schaefer Street, Appleton. That's over on the east side. It's right next to Tropical Snow.
Tropical Snow. Now, what do they sell there?
Snow cones.
Okay. I was like, is this a dirty snow joke? I don't.
No, it's actually they do snow cones, ice cream, all kinds of stuff like that. It's actually pretty awesome.
All right, so you can get a snow cone. Obviously, eat it before you go into the boutique because you're not supposed to have snow cones in a boutique.
That would be preferable.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Don't spill on the clothes.
All right, and you're going to be having in your boutique, you have rompers for men, I believe.
No, I bought that one separately. She does women's clothing and accessories.
Well, anyways, I have not been able to be at.
I do have one romper in the store, but it's not. It's not for men. I mean, I guess it could be, but
Now, you guys are open now.
no, we are not
Not
open
yet.
now. So we plan to open in October. If you want to shop now, you can shop online, or we have two booth spaces. One is at Antique Up Boutique Up in Kimberly, and the other one is at Briarwood in the Fox River Mall.
Okay. Now, and if you guys come to this store in Appleton, the brick and mortar Sugar Rushlow Boutique, and use my code Fantasy Football 2021, Nicole will give you 1% off of your purchase. Don't forget to use my code.
Sure.
There's 12 people that listen to this
Again,
podcast.
this is the mediocre kind of thing you should expect from us. Our presenting sponsor gave us a 1% off deal. That was the best we could do.
I mean, I'm sure you can negotiate a little bit here.
I'm told the owner will be there. You can talk to him.
And
That's me.
on top of that, now, if you just want to go in to look, you can totally do that because by the end of the time you're there, you're going to end up buying something because that's how boutiques work. You look at it and you're like, my wife could use one of these.
Yeah.
And then you buy it for her.
We have women's fashion and accessories. We carry sizes small through 3X, and candles, just jewelry, some shoes.
A little bit of everything that your wife would want.
Bring her along. We do have a fitting room. Bring her along if she wants to make sure it fits right, and then you can come to our house after because it's literally 2 blocks from the store.
Oh, it's this close. Yeah. Didn't you say it was
Well,
on the what side?
It's on the east side.
Oh, the east side. I was thinking the east side, which is actually the west side in my mind. But
Yeah, no shit. It's 3 blocks away. It's as close as it could have possibly been.
well, fantastic. Anyway, I've been told that there are model pictures all around the exterior of the store, and they're all of Robert wearing dresses and leggings.
It's
And
basically the most scantily stuff that she had available. That is a joke. That is not. There's actually a pineapple painting outside the building. It's kind of cool.
well, fantastic. Now, my understanding is that you guys have spent a lot of time working on this in the past, month or two? Yes?
Years. I'd have to say it's
Well,
years.
I mean,
Oh,
the
yeah,
store.
Yeah, definitely. The past 2 months have been crazy. We have a little bit less than a month to go before we plan on opening. So just a lot of work.
Yeah, the last month of my life has been literally building racks, painting, just mounting everything, getting it set up so we can, and then she can take over and put all the clothes in. So.
And of course, it is like 10 p.m. at night, and Nicole has been working at the store to get things ready until just now, and she came home and she got herself a glass of wine. And
I did.
Honestly, I felt kind of bad because she just walked in from working there all night, and I was like, "Hey, well, come do an interview real quick for our bullshit fantasy podcast that like 9 guys listen to." The resting, what the fuck face was pretty prominent, but I do appreciate that she came and did this because we really have fun with this. So.
Yeah, definitely have been working really hard. I haven't left my day job yet, but once we open, I will be at the store full time.
pretty freaking awesome. Yeah, and we will keep you up to date with when the store opens, and who knows, maybe we'll do an on-site video from the store when they open, and we can do commercials for you too. But that's what we should do. We need to do an audio commercial, and then we could play that during the podcast for the 9 people. Anyway. Well, thank you for giving us the 1% discount, Nicole.
You want to shamelessly plug your website really quick?
Oh, yeah. If you want to shop and you're not local, go to sugarrushlow.com. So that's RUSHLOW.
There it is, sugarrushlow.com. And all the stuff you have at the store is online as well?
Yes, all the stuff at the store is online. The booth spaces do have a little bit of a different selection, so you might want to check those out if you don't like
check
what you
them out.
see.
Check out both. And, the holidays are coming soon. If you're coming to Appleton to go shopping, make sure you stop over at the boutique.
Yeah, and that's 2125 South Schaefer Street in
Perfect.
Appleton.
You got it. All right. Thank you, Nicole.
Thanks, honey. Love you.
Thank you.
I can't wait for all of the people coming in with the
Yeah. All
with
you
the,
fantasy football
I
players
got
that
this
wonders
promo
why
code.
we just killed 10 minutes on that. That was for you. You're welcome. That 1%, will go a long way.
And that's a big deal. It really is. I mean, what's 1% of like a $50 shirt?
Once I talk to Nicole some more, we'll edit a thing at the end, and it'll probably be like 10% or something. But
No, that's ridiculous. 1% is better.
she'll just give you a mystery discount. Just go to the store, damn it, all right? I've been doing all this work for you guys. The least you can do is go shop at my store. It actually makes me money. All right?
Well, I'm
It's a free
I'm pretty
podcast.
excited to see how it comes out. And we'll be talking more about this as the year goes on.
Absolutely. But
All right, thank you, Nicole.
back to football.
Now this guy is a self-proclaimed late night guy. So if he doesn't answer his phone, he just doesn't want to talk to us.
Travis?
No.
I really wish you would tell me who we're calling.
You can't look at my phone. It's like 3 feet away from you.
Oh, okay.
Your call has been forwarded to an
Oh.
automatic voice message system.
Steve Wesley.
Is not
Whoa.
available. At the tone, please record
Nobody
your
has
message.
their own
When you have finished
voicemail
recording,
messages anymore.
you may hang up
I mean, at
or
least he
press
took the
1
time
for
to
more
say his own
options.
name.
Steve, you could have been on the podcast right now. We wanted to get your take on how the draft went, how your team came out, but you didn't answer.
For the people listening at home, Tom Brady, Najee Harris, Nick Chubb, Chase Claypool, Antonio Brown, Dallas Goedert, CEH, Rams defense, Mason Crosby, and a bunch of chuds on your bench. Congratulations on your draft. See you soon.
All right, bye, Steve. All right, down the list. Let's find some more people that won't answer.
Oh, I sold them short. Not a bunch of chuds. Michael Thomas, Odell Beckham, Darrell Henderson Jr. Yeah, it's actually kind of nice there. Mooney, your boy Mooney, he stole him from you. You wanted him.
I did want Mooney. I'll give you that.
Mooney's over my hammy.
Mooney.
Oh, that would have been perfect because everyone pulls a hammy. You could have made something out of that. Mooney's over my hammy.
I hear that the backup Justice Hill tore his hammy.
Oh shit! Wait, the backup for Baltimore?
Mm-hmm.
Who are they down to? Dobbins gone, Hill gone. I really liked Justice Hill last year. I drafted him.
Yeah. I mean, they still have Gus Edwards. He'll be around forever.
I'd have to organize it.
This is Luke's phone. Please leave me a message.
I love that.
What?
At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished
It's
recording,
been his
you may
wife.
hang up or press
Please
1.
It's been his
leave
wife
a
for
message,
years.
like-
Yeah,
To
right?
leave a callback number, press 5.
She checks his messages?
I guess so. Hey, this is Luke's phone. Please leave Lee a message, apparently. Anyways, this is Kyle. You're on the Fantasy Foot. You know, he probably doesn't
Hold on.
even realize we do a podcast.
Hey, Luke is in a fantasy league. He probably didn't tell you. That's why he had to get home so soon. So, hey, just let him know we wanted to talk about his team. It was a really good team. Don't be upset. He might make some money. No, I can't even lie. I'm sorry. He's not going to make money.
No, he never makes money. But, you know, it's funny. Luke probably has no idea we actually do a podcast.
Yeah, that's probably
Zero idea. So he doesn't even know what we're talking about right now. Anyways, this is Kyle and Robert. We're doing a podcast. Your team sucks like it always does, and you're not going to make any money.
Love you.
Bye. All right, who's left on the list here? I think we got to do Travis.
I didn't even look at his team before I said that. I just assumed it was terrible.
You want to do Andrew or Travis first?
Andrew.
Okay.
And I won't say why. I know you're both very dedicated listeners. It's nothing personal.
You know if Zach's working tonight?
I don't think so. He might be on days now.
Well, I thought he was in a swing shift.
No, he's kind of like the big cheese now.
I get it.
Zach's team while we're waiting. Or Luke's team while we're waiting. Wilson, Harris, Montgomery, Brown, McLaurin, Tanya, and Allen. That's actually not very bad.
Yeah.
Which
Allen?
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice
Keenan?
message system.
Oh.
And it's Flex?
9258. At the tone, please record your message.
Joby, you could have been on the podcast. However, you didn't answer your phone. We wanted to get your take on your team, how the draft went, and whatnot, and what have you. I can't even play your drop anymore because you don't fucking have any hair. Things are falling apart over here. Wished you would have answered. I don't know. I guess we'll talk to you later.
For those of you wondering, Ben Roethlisberger, Christian McCaffrey, James Conner, DeAndre Hopkins, hurt. Tyler Lockett, hurt. TJ Hawkinson, hurt. DJ Moore, not hurt. Steelers defense, and Brandon McManus. On the bench, some good shit going on. Jerry Jeudy, A.J. Dillon, Deontay Johnson, Matt Ryan, Michael Carter.
Deontay Johnson on the bench.
Gronk, Cordarrelle Patterson. He put himself together a little bit of depth here.
Yeah.
He's really banking on the Arizona offense, though. James Conner, DeAndre Hopkins, running and passing, which I can't talk shit about because
I was going to say
we're going to talk about my Dallas Cowboys
Yeah.
fucking splooge vest I went on.
We should talk about our teams eventually. We're going to give Travis
We'll get
here
through
a
the
call.
calls first.
I think that's it.
Message NB22. The number you
This
have
person's
hold on,
voicemail has not yet been set up.
By the way, he changed his phone number. And Kral did send me a message about
Wait, so Travis didn't actually give you his new number. You had to get it from
I had to
Kral.
get it from Kral, which is, you know.
I think he's saying something here. Do you think he would answer me instead of you? Should I call him or?
Travis's new phone number. Ooh, I don't. Yeah, let's call. All right.
I'm sorry. but the person you called has a voicemail box that has not been
I
set up
called
yet.
it.
Goodbye.
When you listen to this pod, Travis,
Oh,
seriously, set up your voicemail, dude. Come on.
Jesus Christ! You know
That's
he
a
would
pretty
be that
basic
guy.
human function.
So, Travis,
He's like, fuck
fucking
that. I'm
Travis.
not going to get telemarketer calls.
That's hilarious. So I had to get Travis's phone number from Crawl. Crawl sent me a message and he's like, "Hey, what's going on with the draft? By the way, this is Travis's new phone number. You should text him and tell him what's going on." I'm like, you know, if Travis got a new phone number and gave a shit about the draft, you'd think that he'd tell me himself, right?
Hey, he's the current champion.
No, he's too busy fighting COVID and not vaxing and not wearing a mask.
You said we
and
would
turning
make
everything
this
political. No, I mean, you know, it's just some people really care about the fact that it's a plandemic.
Hey, everyone needs to know Kyle's not wearing a mask right now.
I am not. No.
Anyways, I did not look up Travis's team because I was doing that for the other ones. Hold on just a second. This is important. Quality. Aaron Rodgers, Alvin Kamara, Joe Mixon, Mike Evans, Juju Smith-Schuster.
Does
Johnny
he pick
Smith,
Joe Mixon every year?
Kareem Hunt,
Is he the only guy that's ever owned Joe Mixon?
hanging out on the bench, Naheem Hines, Mike Williams, Eric Ebron, Latavius Murray, Devontae Parker. This is pretty good. I might go out on a limb and say, if I didn't have my team, actually, if you told me I had to trade for someone else's team straight up, like I don't have a choice, I might take Travis's team just because of his starters, because I don't really give a shit about bench players, because that's all just waivers anyways.
Yeah, but I mean, when it comes to the playoffs, he's not going to start any of them anyways. He's just going to pick up all the Bears.
That's possible. But, I mean,
quite honestly, you look at what his team is
You
now.
say that.
His team doesn't matter because 5 weeks in, he's going to have spent all his auction dollars. He's not going to have anybody that he started out with.
You say that jokingly, but he kind of showed you the formula for winning a championship.
That took way too long. To get
I'm
that
just
button
saying.
pressed.
Get a better tablet. But seriously, I mean, it was crazy. It was something we didn't think would work, but, you know, look at me. You know? I mean, even look at you. Had it not been for an insanely good draft, I mean,
Yeah,
we're one for what? Combined, we're one
think
for
we're
what,
like one
25
for-
years?
combined, yeah, because I believe we're on year. I think 2006 was the first year, so 14.
Yeah,
years?
so we're getting up there for only having one between us, considering we're the fucking podcasters. Sorry for
That
the
doesn't mean
language.
we have to be good at fantasy football.
Sorry. If you're listening to this at home with kids, I'll try not to swear as much, but I'm one fucking guy. What do you expect from me?
Jonathan Moxon is one man.
Yes.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message
Who is this?
system.
It's Schneider.
92
Who would have answered if you
94
called?
is not
You know,
available.
sometimes-
Because he would have thought it
At
was
the
an
tone,
emergency and one of
please
my kids
record
was
your
dying.
message.
Oh.
When you have finished recording,
Well
you
then,
may
'cause
hang
I
up
never call
or
him, I
press
always
1
text.
for more options.
That goes back to the crawl thing.
Well, I know. See, everybody. Okay,
Where it
hey,
would have been
Zach,
like-
you would have been on the podcast right now, but I know you have like 34 children. And
Yeah, definitely. Sorry.
I don't know. I missed what was going on there. I had headphones on. Zach, you would have been on the podcast. You got a lot of children now. By the way, congratulations to Zach and Megan. I believe they officially adopted their
It's
girls,
official.
right?
We can talk about it.
Fantastic. But Zach and Megan have 3 daughters. They've had 3 daughters for like 7 years.
But
But
now
they have
actually
3
have them.
daughters.
Yes.
It's fantastic. It's awesome news. I'm very proud of that situation. Congratulations, guys. Even though I think it was like months ago now.
Bears
But-
still suck. Love you.
yeah, all right, bye.
Zach's team actually very good too. Kyler Murray, Derrick Henry, Chris Carson, Allen Robinson, Brandon Cooks, Mark Andrews, Myles Gaskin, Lamar Jackson on the bench, David Johnson on the bench, Mecole Hardman, Corey Davis, Marvin Jones Jr., Austin Hooper, Tevin Coleman. That's pretty solid. Wasn't bad.
All right. Plus, he's got the dual quarterback thing he can do.
Indeed. Dual threat.
So what are the chances that Hegner would answer his phone right now?
Oh, probably pretty good.
All right, hold on here. Let's do this. Turn your volume all the way up.
On my phone?
Yes. Because I have it all the way up on mine.
Oh, call volume? All right, hold on. Inside baseball for those of you listening at home.
Actually, do I?
Hey,
Yeah.
How do I
Wait.
spell his name?
I don't fucking know. He's your friend. What up? Ow. Where's the Oh, you don't have a phone with a fucking thing, do you?
Oh no, that's right. I have a Pixel. Sorry, I
God
can't even do that.
damn
Just
it.
let me give you the number. Just call him. He'll
Yeah, but
answer.
he's not gonna answer my phone call.
Answer a call from a random number. ... It's Kyle.
What is it?
Hold on, that was actually really funny to type. I'm so happy right now. This is the stuff people are sitting in their cars driving and
Yeah.
listening to, and they're like, what
You know
the
who we should call
happening?
Aaron.
920.
Yeah, I got it. Oh gosh.
Here, I'll just show it to you. I was like, holy shit, I don't want to put that out on YouTube or wherever we
That's
post
a very good point.
I was like, hold on, I'm just
It's
like taking
red.
this down.
Nobody
Holy
I don't-
spam, Batman. Like, really? You just told him my number out loud? Again, quality podcasting as usual.
You know, you probably could hear everything you said.
Whatever. Just start with don't hang up, it's Kyle.
He's not going to answer. It probably happened too
Your
fast.
call has been forwarded to an
Ah, you
automatic
bitch
voice
clicked, yeah.
message system.
Leave him the message, it'll be funny.
92080. Please record your message.
Sound like it's...
Hello. This is the IRS calling.
No, it's the gentleman. You can't. He'll just delete
You
it.
said really official.
Yeah, but like as the podcast.
Oh, okay, sorry. Hey, this is the Gentleman Fantasy Football Podcast. This is Kyle and Robert.
Hey.
You were a auctioneer on a special auction a week ago, I believe, and we wanted to get your take on how you felt the auction went, how it was being a first-time auctioneer. Did you feel official with the fake gavel that we gave you? I think it was like a ladle.
Yeah, it was a soup ladle.
But apparently we didn't give enough of a heads up here.
Again, quality podcasting.
Well, you know, when it's 10 o'clock at night, sometimes you just do shit off the cuff.
Next time, answer the phone, you fucking chud. We're gonna let you go because we're running out of time.
Hey, Zach's calling us back. All right. Hey, Zach, you're on the podcast.
Holy shit.
Hey, we were singing your praises a minute ago.
We kind of were.
Why?
We thought your draft was okay.
Oh, I'll take that shit.
There you go. Talk really loud into your phone and talk about your favorite pickups. What are you happy with?
Give us five good minutes here on how you felt your draft went, and your team, and your opinions on other people's drafts.
I didn't really look at other people's drafts much. I'm trying to remember my team. I know I got Derrick Henry.
Kyler Murray,
And,
Derrick Henry, Chris Carson, Allen Robinson, Brandon Cooks, Mark Andrews, Myles Gaskin, Lamar Jackson, David Johnson, Mecole Hardman, Corey Davis, Marvin Jones Jr., Austin Hooper, Tevin Coleman. Go.
Yeah.
So,
I was pumped about Chris Carson. I think he's probably going to be a decent workhorse.
I thought that last year too, and he was until he wasn't.
you know,
Yeah.
I was aiming for Chris Carson as well.
Hey, you guys got into a little skirmish bidding wise over that.
We
didn't
did
you?
which was kind of a problem because he could I believe that was the player where me and him were going back and forth, and then I looked at my screen
And he looked
and I
your
looked at
screen.
him and I looked back at my screen and I was like, well, fuck it. He knows as high as I'm going now.
I never looked at your screen for anything.
That's
I
smart. He never wins.
didn't even want to try to begin to follow all the different colors and jibber jabber that was on that fucking thing.
It
I
confuses
had
him just
enough
as much
problems
as you.
just keeping track of my own ass. So,
I'll tell you, the auction draft is kind of hard to take, like, really follow. And I mean, some people, if you just literally sit there and just focus on the draft and what's going on, you could probably follow it. But like, if you're talking to people or like actually paying attention to the room, there's no way in hell you can follow what's actually going on completely in a draft, an auction at least.
no way. Yeah. You got to focus on yourself, and that's it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're just going to fuck up.
Well, I mean, because, you know, this program that I use, I can look at like, okay, well, this person has a quarterback already. This person has this much money left. The program will tell me like how much money they have per player left and all this kind of shit. But when everything's going so fast, you don't ever have time to actually look at that stuff because you have to make split-second decisions on how much money you're going to spend or if you're going to draft that player.
Who's left? Right.
Yeah.
I think you're getting information overload at that point.
Yeah.
I agree, and I ignore most of that stuff.
And not to make it all about your running backs, but you know, you spent 67 on Derrick Henry, but to get, you know, like we said, Chris Carson at that kind of value. I mean, I got Josh Jacobs for the same price, and I would have felt way better about Chris Carson, you know.
I agree.
And whereas I got who was it? Zeke Elliott for what, $58? You could tell me at the end of the year that Chris Carson didn't get hurt and easily outperformed Zeke Elliott, and I wouldn't doubt it. I'd be like, yeah, what a great pickup. So good job there. Another thing I really thought was cool was the Andrews thing. Solid tight end, could easily perform or outperform guys like Kittle and Waller. And you got him for, what was it?
$15.
$15. So could potentially be a steal. Whereas, you know, what did Kelsey go for? $50. I mean, you could see the same kind of value just in touchdowns because Mark Andrews gets those at a pretty high clip most years.
Yeah, you really hope so. I know there's going to be weeks with Andrews where you get like maybe a point. So it's what you get. I mean, you hope for the best. But that with the Ravens offense, it's kind of a crapshoot sometimes with touchdowns. So it's like, for the value there, and how much I spent on running back and shit, you know.
Well, and you and I, in a way, almost had kind of the same philosophy towards the end of the draft, and sitting next to each other, especially with when it came down to everybody with the $1 left. And you were the next guy before me. And we both had the same philosophy of quantity on receivers over quality. You know, get one or two good guys and then just get a whole bunch of like $1 receivers and, you know, flip a coin and hope you get who you want. I had a handful of guys highlighted that I figured that would be there, like right on the fringe of the draft,
including Hardman. He was salty about Hardman.
Oh, but McCole Hardman, Corey Davis, and Marvin Jones was the guy I was targeting. The guy I thought that I could get for $1 at the end, and you know, right before me, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going, fuck, Hardman, Davis, Jones, Brandon Cooks. I was like, God damn it, quit it, will you? And you just are like, I'm rattling receivers right now.
Receivers deep as hell, and around there, it's like whatever. Any of those guys, you could throw in a flex whenever you need to. You're not going to feel bad about it. It's just pick your best matchup at that time.
Well,
you know?
and here's the thing that kind of threw me in the middle of the draft. What kind of threw me for a little bit of a loop here is, I use that program, and it'll tell you what the expected value of a player is. And what really threw me off was so many people spent so heavy on running backs at the beginning of the draft. It threw off the wide receiver values. And when there was a certain point where we were like 2/3 of the way through the draft, where a lot of the money was off the board, and I ended up drafting a couple wide receivers for like the $6-7 range, and my draft board was telling me there isn't enough money here, that you overpaid for these guys that I drafted at what I thought their value was, $6-7, but then all the $6-7 receivers were all ended up being $1 receivers because all the running backs and all the quarterbacks and the tight ends and everything went off the board, and there was just a pile of wide receivers left over. And I realized I allocated the wrong money because I was getting lower tier wide receivers when they came up early that I liked for $6-7 that I could have just waited and gotten Marvin Jones for $1, you know?
Yeah.
Which is something that is completely impossible to force. That's
You
the whole point.
that
in
you
auction.
can't foresee that, right?
Just to get off that for a second, I noticed you took Kyler Murray and Lamar Jackson. Was there a formula for you there where you thought that even if there was a lack of passing yards, passing touchdowns, that those two both had the similar kind of high floor because of the rushing yards, or is that just two quarterbacks you just liked in general?
I actually thought Lamar Jackson was going too cheap, and I was just trying to fit him up, and he just dropped on me.
Okay.
You know, and
That's all.
Because they both have a type, so I thought maybe that you were going with the high floor of a rushing quarterback.
and sitting next to you, though, when you said, shit, I just bought Lamar Jackson for $17, I looked at you and I was like, look, had I not spent $40 on Josh Allen, had I gotten like, who was another guy? I was targeting like a Justin Herbert, or if I wouldn't have spent money on like Mahomes or Allen. Oh, I bid against you on Kyler Murray, and it was you versus me, and you got him for 26.
Yeah.
Because if I would have gotten one of the guys for under $20, I definitely would have came back and got Lamar Jackson and just.
Well, let me
played the
flip
game
that
of-
same question to you then. Was that your draft strategy for quarterback, if not for Josh? Well, Josh Allen is actually a similar kind of type of quarterback. Did you want to get a quarterback who wasn't necessarily yards and touchdowns, but made up for it in rushing yards?
My target was Josh Allen this year because I thought I could get him for less than Mahomes, and I think he's going to win the MVP. Because I think the Bills' offense is going to be unbelievable. But had Josh Allen gone, because $40 was my top. I was going to 40, and if someone would have bid 41, I would have tried to have gotten Rodgers or Tannehill or like the combination of like Herbert and Lawrence or something like that.
Well, what did Kyler Murray go? Or
he went for 26. I bid him up to 25, and Zach took him for 26.
So, while Zach's on the phone, do you feel better about Josh Allen for 40, or would you have preferred Kyler Murray for 27?
I think
because that's a wide range when
So-
you're talking about auction. I'm
I would
curious.
take
I
Murray
know
for
this is all
27
obviously
any
this
day.
is all Monday morning quarterback, but it's a question that's going to be interesting because it'll be fun to revisit at the end, perhaps.
Kyler Murray went early though, didn't he?
Yes, he was the sixth guy off the board at 26.
The first real quarterback though,
Right.
because Love and Winston went first.
Yeah, that was a shit show.
And where did Mahomes went before? Right?
Yeah, Mahomes went
Mahomes went
20th
before
to
Allen.
Ed for 42. So for $2 more,
So
Ed
I
got
thought
Mahomes.
someone was going to spend 50 on Mahomes.
I did as
honestly.
well. I wasn't even touching that because I didn't want to be stuck holding the bag because I wasn't going to spend that much on a quarterback.
And I wasn't either. At 40 was my max, and it was either going to be Mahomes or Allen.
I wasn't even going to get close to 40. I was going to 20 was like my max.
Okay, so I went to 25 on Murray because I thought he was a mid-20s guy. But I didn't want to throw 25, or I didn't want to go over 25 on Murray that early in the draft, which is again, some of the
With
stuff is
everyone else
bullshit.
still on the board.
Yeah, because I didn't know where it would fall, so I figured I'd go to 40 on Allen. If I didn't get Allen, I was just going to go bottom of the barrel quarterbacks.
Sure. But I guess that's why I thought the question was interesting. Like, again, Monday morning quarterback, if you had the choice, Murray for 27 26, 27 versus Allen for 40, which one do you prefer rest of the year going forward?
But I nominated Allen.
Yeah.
I got Darren Waller and purposely nominated Allen because I wanted to find out where he would fall. Because if he went over $40, I was going bottom of the barrel quarterbacks, and I knew I had money to spend elsewhere.
Sure.
That's why I wanted to make sure that Allen came up, and I knew where I was sitting with him. And
Notice he's skirting the question, though.
What?
Would you rather have Kyler Murray for 27 or Allen for 40?
Allen for 40 because I think he's going to be the MVP.
Okay, that's all I wanted.
All right. Zach, are you still there?
you got
I'm
sucked
still
into the middle of our dispute there.
Yeah, I'm just letting you guys go. I mean,
but I do agree though that
I wanted Murray going in, but my backup plan is if he was going to go for more than what I felt comfortable, I was just going to try and get Russell Wilson.
Oh, okay.
And Lamar Jackson was nowhere on my radar, and I was just trying to bid him up.
Honestly, $17 is too low, and I hate Lamar Jackson at this point for what he did to me last year. But had you told me that I could either have Josh Allen for 40, Kyler Murray for 26, or I could get Lamar Jackson for 17 and come back for insurance with.
You're talking about $23 of auction budget between Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen.
Well, I know
that would be.
But had I known I could get Lamar Jackson for $17 and come back with Ryan Tannehill for maybe
he didn't go
$7.
Much, yeah.
Well, no, he went for $18 because that's all that. The Tannehill number is.
I think Tannehill should have went for more than he did. I guess is what I was.
No. Tannehill went for $18, but that's a fake number because Jason had $18 left in only one position, so he bid the $18 on Tannehill to go over the top of everyone.
He was one of the guys I wanted.
I thought that I could get like a Ryan Tannehill for like $8, and then somebody else if I didn't get Josh Allen.
That would have made sense.
Baker Mayfield went for $1. Jameis Winston went for $2. Granted, he went really early. Joe Burrow went for $3. Trevor Lawrence $3. There's a couple rookies that didn't even get drafted.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to draft a rookie quarterback.
Well, I understand that, but if you're gonna pick a low dollar quarterback, you might as well pick 2 flyers.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Take a handful of them and see how it goes. Let's understand.
Never know how it shakes out.
I guess here's a question. Dak Prescott. That was a $16 pick. Is Dak going to be your Lord and Savior this year?
If he doesn't twist his ankle completely off his body, yeah. Look at him. Last year, we made that Matt Ryan, Dak Prescott bet, I believe, because I traded Ryan for Dak, and I threw in Cup as a sweetener or whatever because I had Woods. Look at his numbers up until he got hurt. He was on pace to be one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the league at the clip he was going at. All I did was bid to get that same person who is not any different than he was last year, minus he got hurt. With the same weapons.
No. I'm not going against your philosophy, but Dak Prescott was going to throw for like 5,000 yards last year until he got hurt.
Right.
If he wouldn't have gotten hurt, Dak Prescott probably would have been a $40 quarterback.
Right. But remember, I traded for Josh Allen, so I know the value I would have been getting with him, and I think Dak and Josh Allen are actually points-wise, when they're doing the things they do, are
I'm making
close.
the argument for you.
Right.
I'm saying
That's
that,
what I'm saying.
I'm saying that Dak Prescott for $16 is a steal if he's the Dak Prescott that he was the first 3 games of the season last year, not
right. And I wasn't joking when I
Dak
said
Prescott.
I did no research whatsoever. I went into this draft saying I was going to get Dak or Aaron Rodgers because I knew I wasn't going to pay Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen prices, but I'd still get quarterbacks that can score a lot of fucking points. Maybe not at the same clip as Mahomes or Allen, but I'm a big guy on value-based drafting, right? And snake drafting and auction drafting don't have a lot of differences when it comes to value-based drafting. In fact, it actually increases the usage of that exact system, right? That's why Kelsey went as the fifth highest budgeted player,
Right.
value-based drafting. Kelsey versus name anyone, it's not even close.
Yeah,
At that position,
pick the eighth tight end, and I don't care who the eighth tight end is at the end of the year in scoring, but pick the eighth tight end,
Right.
which is like two-thirds of the best tight ends in our league.
Right.
You pick the eighth tight end versus what Kelsey would score, or the top tight end would score. Kelsey, Waller, Kittle, one of those three guys. It's probably going to be far and away.
Yeah, it's very different. That's value-based drafting. So for me, I was at the tier below the top tier, and I had Aaron Rodgers and Dak Prescott as the guys that I thought would actually have more production.
The question you got to ask about the tight ends, though, is yes, Kelsey is worth that much more than your, mid-range tight end. But when you spend the $50 on Kelsey,
right?
Are you really getting value?
Well, this goes back to
because he's got to do what Kelsey does every year,
right,
to make that $50 worth it.
Yeah, and it's one tweaked ankle away from being a huge budget loss. And that's where I get back to the Andrews thing with Los, because I think that was an incredible value-based draft where he got Andrews at a price where I don't think there's obviously going to be a points difference between Kelsey and Andrews, but when you talk about the money spent versus the returns there, he might end up in a way better spot.
Well, there's three guys.
Like, give me Derrick Henry and Andrews versus Travis Kelsey and insert fucking seventh, eighth round running back.
You're playing whack-a-mole at tight end. There's three guys that I look at right now that could be part of that top tier. That aren't considered that right now. It's Mark Andrews, Kyle Pitts, and T.J. Hawkinson.
Yeah,
and if Andrews went for 15, Pitts went for 10, Hawkinson went for 7. Any one of those three guys could jump up into that next tier, and Kittle, Waller, or Kelsey could get hurt, or one of them could suck. I don't know, but those are the three guys that could jump into that tier, if you ask me. And if T.J. Hawkinson for $7 ends up being the only good wide receiver in Detroit, $7 is a huge value. Same thing with Mark Andrews. If Mark Andrews is getting red zone touchdowns,
right? I mean,
you just saved yourself $35.
Yeah, and there's going to have to be passing because the running game has been significantly diminished. Lamar Jackson can take off as much as he wants, but at some point the box is going to be loaded. He's going to have to throw the ball.
Yeah, Zach, did you hear Justice Hill tore his hamstring too?
Yeah, I heard that.
So it looks like it's Gus Edwards. It's like literally just Gus Edwards at this point.
And maybe Tyson Williams or some shit.
Yeah, I don't even know
or
who else they
or some shit. I
have.
don't know.
But that's the point. Like, Los basically owns the short range options in Baltimore, which is Lamar Jackson keeping the ball, and Andrews is that trusty check down guy that's going to be needed pretty heavily considering their offensive line is not stellar. So
Now, I mean, you don't have to answer this question if you don't want to, Los. But what do you think is more likely for you going forward? As far as the two quarterbacks go, if Murray's having a huge year, let's say. Okay, let's put it this way: if either of the two quarterbacks is having a huge year, and the other guy is having just a good year, I'm pretending that. I mean,
he's asking for a Kyle.
No. I mean, if one of the two quarterbacks is having a huge year and one's having like a really good year but not as big a year, do you feel like you would try to move the guy? Would you try to move your starter for a better player, or would you try to move the guy behind him for a
I don't
slightly...
think I'd move either of them because they're both running quarterbacks and they're going to be prone to injury. And I just
Interesting.
prepare for the worst. If I have the depth and I really don't have a problem, unless I get injuries elsewhere, I don't see myself moving them.
Right.
I mean, then
Just
you're
because
running the risk.
they-
You're running the risk of doing the old whack-a-mole where you start the wrong fucking guy every week.
Okay, so let's put it this way. All right, so Kyler Murray's having a fantastic year, and you have the ability to trade, say, Lamar Jackson having a good year and Allen Robinson having an okay year. Let's say the quarterback thing just isn't working out, but Robinson is still like maybe a top 25 guy. But you,
I mean, they have no
turn,
offensive line. We should talk about the Bears.
but you can
slightly
turn
after
Allen Robinson into, I don't know, give me a top 10 wideout. DeAndre Hopkins, let's say he's like the number 7 guy.
this. Marquez Callaway.
There you go. Is that something that you see yourself, making a package deal out of to upgrade your starters versus having that depth?
Possibly.
Good answer.
Yeah,
I like
he's not.
how
He's
you
not
like
gonna let us.
like a
He's
poker
not giving
player.
us any info here.
Come on, we're trying to be hard-hitting interviewers
I don't
here.
really have a crystal ball here.
How
I'm
am I
just,
supposed to get
fine
more
with it.
than 9 followers on this Facebook or what is it, YouTube page, if you can't give me just a
You want a
little
hot
bit
take?
of inside information?
Okay, give me a hot
Inside
take.
information?
You could have a Kyler Murray,
I mean,
DeAndre Hopkins
There's going to
stack.
be a sweet pickup tomorrow morning.
Oh, it's gonna,
Like
wait.
that
Or no,
player named
Thursday.
Sweet.
You mean on
Thursday
Thursday?
Yeah.
Because if you're picking
I'm
someone up
already-
tomorrow morning,
That's
No,
really sweet.
I'm already thinking it's Wednesday. I'm sorry. My days are all messed up.
I
Right
mean,
now.
it's almost Wednesday.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we're not going to post this podcast till Friday. So, what do you got going on?
I don't kiss and tell, buddy.
You knew he wasn't gonna tell
I
us.
know. I'm trying here. I'm asking the hard hitting questions. All right.
I'm trying. I'm going to get Marquez Callaway.
I already have him.
Yeah. See, that is
All
a
right,
sweet
you
pickup.
called my bluff.
Anyway, shit, I had it. Okay, we got to talk Bears for a second. You're a resident Bears fan.
Yeah.
Do they have a live lineman on that team, or is Justin
they're
Fields just gonna take snaps on the second half against the Rams and just get slaughtered out the gate?
I think he might play a little bit during that game, but I don't think he's going to be playing much, barring injury to Dalton. But
What's your take on the
It is-
Fields? What's your take on the Fields Dalton thing? Because
let Fields sit as long as he can, because it might have seemed slow in preseason against base defenses, but once you see the real shit, I mean, it's going to be different.
I
And
agree.
don't throw him against Aaron Donald, please, God, don't.
Yeah.
well, I mean, and I agree with that 100%. I mean, why
Yeah.
all these Bears fans were just booing
No, it's-
Andy Dalton, and it's like, what do you? Okay, the Bears are
He's got
probably
nobody
not.
to throw to. They're not starting anybody.
Well, the Bears are not going to win. I'm sorry, Los, but the Bears aren't going to win the Super Bowl this year. Why?
Oh, no shit.
Why are you putting?
There's-
Why would you need to put Fields out there to start the season, especially when you have the Rams week 1 and a bad offensive line? Like, it makes no sense.
I don't know.
This goes back to every team, though. Like, no team should draft a quarterback that they're just going to roll out day one. I just don't think it's healthy for their development. There's so many quarterbacks that get drafted and then immediately thrust into a starting position that really could have been great quarterbacks that just don't get the chance to develop the right way. And they end up seeing ghosts out there on the field, and they can't get their shit together. Rosen
You think
and
New England's making
Baker
a mistake
Mayfield
with Mac
eventually
Jones then?
got there, but like it's just how many
think-
times have you seen him? Like, look at Mahomes. He got a chance to sit
Yeah.
and learn and then start. Rodgers got a chance to sit and learn and then start. Brett Favre got a chance to like. It's not a secret. You can't just take these guys and expect them to produce right off the bat. Some of them do. Lamar Jackson did. Kyler Murray sort of did, and then eventually really did. But it is so
Peyton Manning did.
it is so rare.
Peyton Manning
unless you're
broke
built
his
a certain
jaw the
way.
first season too.
Right.
I mean, he got
Troy
the
Aikman,
shit
he
kicked
went
out of
1
him.
and 15 in his rookie season.
It's not healthy. Mitch Trubisky, like these
The-
guys can't just be starters.
Now, to Los's Mac Jones question, do I think that they're making a mistake starting him? I think he's better than Cam. And he could throw the ball better, which is sad for Cam because Cam was a fantastic quarterback for years. But are they making a mistake? Probably not. I mean, they have a really good defense.
It's hard to tell,
Right?
but it doesn't matter about
you're
the Patriots.
playing
They have a
defense.
good running game too.
You're a brand
placing
new
a lot of faith
quarterback in
in
the
that
NFL, and you're going to face the Dolphins defense right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
That could be a bad look. It could be a thing that hits your confidence. What if they rip him apart? Dolphins win in Foxborough, and all the headlines say Mac Jones wasn't ready. Why do we bail on Cam? His Twitter's getting all kinds of fucking
but
hate mail. You know how those Boston fans are. This could be a bad move. Let Cam take the fucking the beating for the first
There's
couple
been a
weeks.
lot of Russell Wilson type talk with Mac Jones that he just he came in, he showed up day one, just like Russell Wilson. Matt Flynn was there. He was supposed to be the guy. They paid him $10 million, and Wilson just won the team.
I know the arguments, but guys like Wilson and the handful of other quarterbacks that actually did something relevant in their first year versus got really fucked up over it is very few and far between. It even for guys like Trevor Lawrence, everyone's like, oh, he's the most highly recruited guy, the biggest prophecy since Andrew Luck or Peyton Manning, and I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, that doesn't mean it translates to NFL football. It just isn't like that. The Jaguars aren't all of a sudden going to be right back to prominence because
Well,
Trevor
the Jaguars
Lawrence
are a team that doesn't have an offensive line. I really think it comes down to, and I mean, I'm not the only person that's ever said this. I mean, there's a lot of really good, talented quarterbacks that come out of college, but if you end up on the wrong team, the team that doesn't have a good coaching staff, a team that doesn't have an offensive line, a team that doesn't have an identity, players to help them out, look at David Carr, look at...
well, that's the problem with being the best college quarterback is you're going to the worst NFL team. It's kind of,
but Sam
it's
Darnold
automatic.
never paired. Sam Darnold didn't work out. Josh Rosen. I mean,
Joe Burrow got broken in half. Yeah, it's just.
Well, and that sucks because Burrow was really balling last year, but that offensive line was fucking terrible.
Yeah. So you're a great quarterback in college, on the most highly recruited college, and you're the greatest. And then you go to the worst NFL team with the worst line and the worst receivers and the worst coaches. Nobody sees the problem here. They can't just start. They need to learn and then start.
And I mean, I'm not talking shit about the Bears here, but I'm just Justin Fields. No, I mean Justin Fields looks like he could be something special, but for Christ's sake, these Bears fans that just want them to throw him out there
and get his face
right
lit
off
up.
the bat and get destroyed.
Didn't that already
I don't
happen
think
once this
that's
year?
smart.
Didn't he already take a huge shot this year in the preseason?
Yeah, he lost his
Yeah, he
helmet,
did.
right?
Yeah, so he's probably already got a massive concussion on his record, and he hasn't even started a regular season game. That's what I'm
My
talking
guess is
about.
they're going to wait till they play Detroit and then start him.
I feel bad for Dalton though. I really do. I mean,
I don't.
He made his money.
Motherfucker shouldn't be starting for any team, I think, after
made
what he
his
showed
money.
in Dallas.
He's not a terrible quarterback, but I mean,
but still, I mean, it wasn't his choice to come in there. I mean, they asked him. Well, I guess it was his choice. He did sign there, but
he doesn't deserve to take as much shit as he is for. being
no,
a
I mean,
quarterback. He's a professional football player. He knows the
For what
systems.
he did
can
at
play
TCU
football.
against the Badgers, he can eat shit.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Oh, yeah.
Don't you ever feel bad
Fucking
for him
redhead.
because that bullshit. That was heartbreaking.
That was tough. Yeah, that wasn't fun. No.
No.
Moment of silence for the Badgers that year.
All right. I mean, we should
I
probably
said
wrap
moment
this
of
thing
silence,
up.
Jesus Christ.
Los, any last words?
All you motherfuckers are going down.
I feel like he says that.
You know, Ryan did say we were all playing for second place.
He's got the entire Minnesota roster. Make an
And
argument
more,
against
and
that
more on
decision.
Jordan Love.
Well, he's gone already, so.
Yeah. Oh,
All right,
that son of a
Lois.
bitch. He can sit on the waivers and he can see everything before us. So I wouldn't put anything past him.
Fair enough. Good interview, bud.
All right. Hey, and Los, you can stop in at the Sugar Rush Low Boutique
He knows.
and get and say the code Fantasy Football 2021, and you will get 1% off your order at the Sugar Rush Low
Goddamn.
Boutique. So don't forget
I'm gonna
to say that when you stop in there.
I'm going to be the prettiest motherfucker this side of the fox.
Shopping for himself, not Megan.
Megan's like, "Where'd you get that romper?" He's like, you know."
There was only one in stock.
It's a small, by the way.
I like the way it cradled my balls.
All right, thanks, Lois. We'll catch you later.
Yeah, later, man.
All right, well, I mean, that's an hour and a half. That's probably long enough, huh?
It's up to you. We haven't talked about.
We haven't talked about either of our teams.
Part 2 coming up in.
God, no, we're not doing a part 2. All right, I'll tell you what. I'll interview you about your team, but you got to pull your team up on your phone because
All right,
I don't have the ability to do that right
I'll
now.
pull myself real quick. All right, my team: Dak Prescott, Zeke Elliott, Josh Jacobs, Tyreek Hill, Cooper Kupp, Blake Jarwin, Raheem Mostert, Packers D, Jason Myers, Randall Cobb, Debo Samuel, Kenyon Drake, back up to Josh Jacobs, Jamal Williams, back up to your boy Swift, Rashad Penny, back up to I'm the new second string,
Right?
Evan Ingram, Robbie Anderson,
All right, give me that quick.
giving.
Raheem Mostert.
It is funny that Evan Ingram's already hurt.
Is he really?
Yeah. I drafted him
Fucking
thinking,
Evan
hey,
Ingram.
if he doesn't get hurt, I mean, and then he did. I think I got him for a couple bucks, though. I do really like Blake Jarwin.
Yeah, I don't know why you're so upset or obsessed with Cooper Kupp. I don't get that one.
I traded him. I kept Robert Woods.
Yeah, I
and
know,
I
but-
drafted Robert Woods the year before. This is the Cup year.
Yeah, I guess. Mostert. $8. I bid as far as I could go.
I am in love with that pick. I wanted Mostert. He was.
Fucking-
I will show you my notebook. He was written all over the place. I wasn't leaving that draft without him.
That goes back to the. Like I said, not to talk about my draft, but I felt like I fucked up because I ran a certain amount of money off the board, and then realized that I didn't have enough money with who was left
Right.
to get the board back to me, because there were guys that I wanted to get, but I couldn't get the board back to me. So I had to pick up guys to get the board
Just
back.
to get control back.
To get control back, to get the guys that I wanted to be nominated early enough, and I couldn't get back over to get Mostert nominated.
Right.
And at that point, it was literally you, Steve, and me were the only people with money left.
Yeah.
I had $8 or whatever, and
I was sitting on at least 16 or so.
yeah, you and Steve both had $12 to $16 or whatever.
I was willing to leave with Mostert and $1 left for every other player.
Right. And so it came down to you, Steve, and me with money left, and everybody else had nothing.
Right.
And I was the guy with the least amount of money, so I bid straight up to what I could bid, and then you guys just
Had
went
to
right
watch
over.
the show.
And it just fucking drove me nuts, because I really could have used that one extra running back. I mean, I got fucking Giovanni Bernard just because I knew I could get him for $3 to
Yeah.
get the board back.
Yeah, that's a tough pickup too. Like, Gio's getting old, and Yeah, I mean, if you take your starting lineup and throw Mostert in that second running back slot, I do really like your team a lot more.
Well, he would have been my third running back. He would have been my flex running back.
Yeah. Well,
But I
2,
mean,
3
the way I look at it, you really only need 3 running backs because you're probably starting 3 wide receivers most weeks.
yeah, ideally, but you do need to have 3 real running backs. But I mean, history shows you cannot.
Well, and that's the thing.
do it with none.
You want to have
some.
the way I look at it is I want to have 3 real running backs. I don't care whether I don't have any other running backs as long as I have 3 real ones.
And most playoff or championship teams, one of their 3 real running backs come off of waivers every
Right.
time. You have to not to. And
I mean, or
I
if
don't
you're
want to do too
Travis,
much
your whole
inside
team
football,
comes
yeah.
off of waivers when you win the championship.
But
But
the waivers are important. Like those guys, talk about like Kittle coming off of waivers and the difference that
Mhm.
like these players make. Like, take the time, spend the money. You can't carry that waiver budget over into the next year. You have to spend that shit. Get good players when you can. It's worth it, even if it's just for depth and taking it away from another player in
Right.
your conference that needs that. You have to make that move.
I mean, I like, looking at your team, I fucking hate to say this. I kind of like what you did.
Oh, talk dirty to me.
I mean, you look at, you got Elliott. You spent money for him. You got Josh Jacobs. I'm not
I'm
not high on
love that dude, but
So,
I did put insurance down on him with Drake.
Okay, I would say I'm not high on Josh Jacobs, but you have Kenyon Drake as insurance. So to me, that weighs that out because if you just had Josh Jacobs,
Right. I don't know in the
I wouldn't
backfield.
be that excited about it. The flyer on Penny, because Carson gets hurt all the time.
Yep, I've seen it. I've owned it.
Williams is a good because he's gonna get run in Detroit.
I think he could take that job over. Like we've watched
Man, I hope
Jamal
not.
Williams, dude. That guy he's not just a good running back. He really cares.
Yeah.
He's the only person I've seen get that excited over something as simple as like a 3-yard first down. He gets up and freaks the hell out.
Right.
Those kind of guys you can't teach that amount of caring to, especially when they're making millions of dollars.
And he had a great interview just recently too.
Dude, Jamal Williams cares. I was getting that dude.
I disappointed that they let him go. I know why the Packers let him go, but I'm disappointed because I like Jamal Williams a lot.
Yeah.
The Ingram and Jarwin tight end situation, again, just like the quarterback situation, had I not been trying to go for a top tier tight end, I would have gone for the platoon tight end.
Yeah.
Just give me two wild cards that I think could do something.
That's essentially what that was. And I don't know if any of you guys watched Blake Jarwin when he wasn't hurt. That guy is a very
he's a good tight end.
Tight end. He can.
And I mean,
catch a
Evan
lot of
Ingram
great
is one
passes.
of the best pass catching tight ends.
Right.
The 3 weeks a year
When
that he
he can
plays,
play.
just like Logan Thomas and
Which is why I spent the $2 to put him on my Hey, if he doesn't get hurt, I might have a top 10 tight end in him. But sure enough, he's out.
I feel like you got Tyreek Hill, which is always a good person to have because it can be the second quarter of the fucking noon games. You look down and Tyreek Hill has fucking 30 points. You're like, well, shit. All right.
Yeah.
That was fun.
That actually goes against what I wanted to do sometimes. So I wanted to get Tyreek Hill this year, but what bothers me about that is, I drafted Devontae Adams not last year, but the year before, and he was amazing. And the next year, I talked myself out of Devontae Adams, and I drafted Michael Thomas. Got hurt, didn't play all
Yeah.
the bullshit, right? Spent a lot of money on. I think I spent $60 on Michael Thomas. This year, again, talked myself out of Devontae Adams, draft Tyreek Hill, and I feel like I'm leading myself down the same path where, why didn't I just get Devontae Adams? But I was like, you know what? Hell with it. I'm just going to go with Hill because the guy's amazing, explosive. He's the one chief I want to have, and I didn't take Edwards-Helaire, and I always want to have a chief. I just, that offense is too good. I need to have some of that.
I'm never gonna complain about someone drafting Tyreek Hill because I love Tyreek Hill. He's explosive. He had 30 points in the first quarter of a game last year. It's just insane.
Yeah, but should I have spent the extra? Wait for it. I know you've been here for 2 hours. Just hang on there, guys. The extra $2 for Devontae Adams.
I think it's a coin flip between the two of them. I really do.
The volume, the touchdowns, it's hard. It's hard. But I took Tyreek. Granted, I didn't know. I thought Devontae Adams was going to go for like 60. He went for 52. And at that point, I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
But Tyreek Hill got called, and I was like, I have to.
Quite honestly, from my point of view, all the wide receivers went less than I thought they should have went. I mean, almost everyone. It started from the top down, less than I expected them to go for, and it held all the way through. I don't want to spend a lot of time on my team because we're going to talk about my
because it's
team.
not worth a lot of time.
No, it's not. But I had a plan to get a couple running backs. I had a few guys that I targeted. I don't put a lot of money into my running backs. Looking back at the draft, I was like, fuck, I should have just spent an extra $1 or $2 for specific guys.
Sure.
My wide receivers, I know you didn't like my wide receivers.
Correct.
I'm in on Marquez
Side
Callaway.
bet?
Okay. And I was listening to the Ringer Fantasy Football Podcast. Okay. And they had
You and that fucking ringer.
They had, I don't think it was Warren Sharp. I can't remember. Peter Schrager, okay?
Okay. I do love Schrager.
Peter Schrager.
I'll give him credit.
Was at Packers practice for a week. And he said all the talk of the wide receivers was MVS stepped it up another notch. He's figured it out. Rodgers said that. Everybody said that. MVS, even though he drives me nuts, he's a sleeper this year.
Sure, but a sleeper at what level? There's still Adams, Lazard, now Amari Rodgers.
Amari Rodgers is not catching fucking passes. He's returning
You don't-
kicks. That's all he's going to do.
I think he might. Find
Amari
some-
Rodgers is not playing an offense.
Randall Cobb.
Randall Cobb's going to play slot. He's going to be their possession. He's going to
Okay.
be the Wes Welker.
So where's MVS making this money?
Oh, they're going to double team Devontae Adams, and MVS is going to
How
get.
is that working for him so far? Because
I'm just
last
saying-
time I checked my watch, Devontae Adams has been double teamed for like 4 years, and he's still a beast.
I'm telling you, MVS. Peter Schrager says MVS is going to be a flex guy.
Top 20, top 30.
Top 20. Top 20 is not a flex guy.
Top
20 is
40?
a wide receiver too.
You brought him up.
All right.
Why
I'm just saying.
You
I'm
have
just
a
saying.
suspended
You-
player on your team.
Yes, Will Fuller. It's one game.
Okay. Do you think MVS will do better than Henry Ruggs III?
Ruggs is like my lowest wide receiver.
Do you think he'll do better than Marquez Callaway?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Do you think he'll do better than Marquez Callaway?
Who?
MVS.
No. Callaway's like my number 2 wide receiver.
Not Ayuk?
No. Callaway's going to be better than... Callaway's going to be my second best wide receiver. See, you got...
Ayuk's position rank is 33. Callaway's
It
is
doesn't
129.
I understand that because he's a rookie.
Sure, but these are projections.
That doesn't mean shit. We'll see. You don't like my wide receivers. I'm telling
saying
you
there's
they're
a
not.
100 position difference between experts
That's
that rank
because
these guys.
Ayuk played last year.
Those are projections.
Callaway is the new Michael Thomas.
Hold on. You just broke my brain. I was
No,
trying,
it's
I was
true.
trying to find words
Hey,
to
did
understand.
you
what
see him in the preseason?
Yes. Yes, I've seen him.
All right.
Have you seen Michael Thomas ever?
I'm just saying he's the new Michael Thomas. That's the way they're pegging him. And they have a quarterback that like might actually throw passes this year, not just run touchdowns in.
Somebody remind me about this at
Are
the end of the year.
What? By the way, what whiskey are you drinking right now?
That's a hard one to find, actually.
High West whiskey.
Double rye. Private
It's a double
Styles.
rye. It's not just a single rye. It's
Turn
a
it
double
sideways and then
rye. And
read the-
stick it straight up
it's-
your.
No, read the label.
Limited release, huh?
Yeah.
Barrel one.
No,
no.
It's made in a peated Scotch barrel. It's actually really tasty. It might not be your cup of tea, but give it a try. Just a little
All right.
sip.
I mean, it's not tea. It's whiskey.
It's gonna taste like Scotch. It's not gonna taste like a rye. So just a little sip.
So why do they call it a double rye then?
It is a rye per the mash bill, but it was made in a peated Scotch barrel. So it's going to have a flavor like a Scotch, but it is a rye per the way it's made. Does that make sense? We're getting way off of fantasy football here, but I love it. I think
That's
got a
actually
flavor.
that's very good whiskey.
It's so much fun to drink.
That is very good whiskey.
Yeah, you can get it at Sellers in Neenah. Anyways, can we? I know we're almost at 2 hours, but I really want to cover the Bucks thing. Should we just do that in the next podcast?
The which Bucks thing?
The only Bucks thing. They won the championship. We haven't talked about it.
Oh, I know.
I love basketball. You love basketball.
So we'll do that next week.
All right, that's fair.
We seriously considered for like 7 drunken minutes as we watched the championship happen with the Bucks, why we didn't bring the podcast back for like a spring session,
just a straight up Bucks
just to talk
episode.
about the Bucks for a
'cause
couple
we're
weeks.
Not necessarily strictly a football podcast.
No, it is the Gentleman Fantasy Podcast, not Fantasy Football Podcast. Even though we talk about football, I don't fucking know. Parent Corner. It's not Parent Corner. It's Family Circle Jerk. Sorry.
Yes.
You got anything this week? I know I'm putting you on the spot. We didn't talk
My
about this ahead of
son
time.
Is in middle school now, and he is less of a nerd now. I don't like. He's
All right.
he was widely unaccepted
He's
in grade
spreading
school.
his wings.
Yeah, he's
Really?
actually becoming kind of cool, which is scaring the shit out of me because I think it's inspiring him to be more reckless and trendy and shit like that. And
Oh shit!
yeah, he's
Like
getting
things are getting
into,
serious.
yeah,
now.
he's getting into 13, which is, right around when I was doing the same thing. Granted, I was much different than him in grade school, but I'm seeing those parallels now in middle school where he's really getting into, I don't know. I think he's going to get into a lot of trouble. it's scaring me because I did.
Yeah.
We're trying to give him freedoms, though. I'm trying not to be a helicopter parent. I really am. But I see like all the dumb shit that I fucked up that I'm like, God, please don't fuck this up. Sorry.
I mean,
Again, for the language, I promise I'm trying not to.
I'm gonna struggle.
I know most of you don't have kids my age because I did it way early.
Right. So I feel like for me, Vince is going to be a little bit of a struggle as he grows a little bit older because he's not me. He's not my blood,
Right.
per se.
But he still grows up in your household.
Right, but
that's
he
more
just
relevant.
has like I can see Evan and the way Evan is like as a human being, and I understand the way Evan looks at things and Evan thinks because he has my DNA. I don't know how to explain it, but like
Sure.
I identify like, oh, he's doing this. Like that's what I would have done at that age. Like I see it.
Right.
Vince comes from a completely different person, and he does things where I look at it and I'm just like, I wouldn't have done that. That's not something I would have thought of at that age. I wouldn't have thought of it that way.
You
Or,
remember
like,
when I colored my hair like dark blue?
yes.
Rob colored the top of his head blue like just 2 days ago. Like he wanted to have blue hair. So Nicole was like, fine, whatever. You want blue hair? We'll fucking give you blue hair. And she did. And it actually, like, I was like, damn, that actually looks pretty cool. I was like, damn it. I should be telling him he's not doing cool things, but he is. So, like, and that's not typical Rob because he's kind of like, you know, he's been very mechanical up until now, but now he's actually getting this personality, and I'm not ready to deal with it at that level because, you know, he's my first teenager.
Right. Yeah, and it's as they grow older, it's an interesting situation always.
How many kids do you have now? 5?
17.
Okay.
I bought a passenger van. I have so many children.
You told me that was for the band.
Well, that too.
You want to
Anyways,
give them a
so
little inside baseball on our up and coming band? I'm just kidding.
God, thank God Nicole doesn't listen to this. She'd be like, "What fucking band? What band?" No, we're bringing the gentleman back. Neither of us has talked to Doug yet.
There might be a new Doug, but call him up.
Doug
Let's get
is
him on the
really
podcast. I'm just kidding.
It's
I'm
fucking
I'm
11
kidding.
o'clock.
If anyone would be out.
If any, maybe. You know, we'll call Doug on the next podcast and we'll talk about the
The
band.
next podcast will be all about nothing fantasy football whatsoever. So if you're just like here for the football stuff, maybe skip the next one because
You know, at this point, it probably would have been a good idea to break this into 2, but it's too late now. It's just going to be an hour and fucking 50 minutes.
because Kyle does not have the technology.
I don't have. Well, I
to
mean, I could.
pause and break a podcast and post it. And
No,
shoot
I
it.
could have, but then
It's impossible.
No. See,
We're
here's
not
the thing.
that far as
It
as
would
human
require-
beings yet.
Listen, I could do that stuff, but that would require us recording intros and outros afterwards and then me editing that back together. Whereas now, I literally just take what we recorded, throw in the
Outro
intro and outro, and fucking
and push a couple of these drop buttons.
yeah,
like I don't
like,
even know what
like
this one is.
This is the last
I'm
time
so
you're
glad
gonna
I
hear
pushed
that one.
You said that last year, man. I wasn't I wasn't even looking at the board. I just slapped a button and I saw it. That was
All right.
perfect.
And since, well,
funny
I mean,
because-
since there's no more hair anymore, this is the last time you're going to hear this. Okay, so we're going to retire those drops, the
We're gonna
Joby
add the
hair
holy
drops,
shit
the
one.
carry-ons. We're going to add the holy shit one. We're going to work on some new drops. If you guys think of anything good, hit me up in the DMs. Please don't send dick pics.
Keep in mind, Kyle was just saying that we couldn't possibly record a 10-second intro and another 10-second outro, which is literally just him hitting the hamburger song to break this into 2 pieces. So the reason you're going to listen to a 2-hour straight podcast is because Kyle said it's too hard to record 20 seconds of filler on the front and the back end.
With
You're
that
welcome.
being said, this is the Gentleman Fantasy Podcast. Have a good night. Sugar Rush Low Boutique. Code Fantasy Football 2021. Get your 1% off.
Sweaters.
I see you were not.
Fuck it. Go to the boutique.